Hey everybody, this is Night City Gamer here, and welcome back to another Let's Play Car Mechanics Simulator. I know it's been quite a while since I last did a video of this playthrough, and I wanted to bring you guys up to speed on what's been going down. So, to make it a brief summary, I have been mostly just grinding to try to save up enough on the side to get another car into my personal collection, and within that time frame I did stumble upon vehicles that I was like, oh wow, this is something that I could really see in my personal collection, even though they were repair services. But man, there were two in particular that really caught my attention. Sadly, my search for those vehicles have not been successful, but I am still in pursuit of finding those two vehicles. And eventually, further down the way, I did manage to save up enough to put aside to get my own car, to get another car in my personal collection. And I was searching high and low, from barn locations to garages and going to like the dump and whatnot. I couldn't find a single one, and I just happened to randomly find some luck in the auction at one point. Unfortunately, it blew the majority of the money that I put aside for it, but after that, you know, just went back to at least putting at least 40 to somewhere between 40 to 50 grand aside for that vehicle. So that is what we're going to be doing today's video. I'll give a little bit more details once we actually get into the video. So just wanted to update on what's been going on behind the camera. So let's go ahead and hop right in. Sorry for speaking a little bit too long there. I wanted to cover as much as what I could on what happened in the time frame that from the last video to this current one that I'm doing right now. I just wanted to try to fill in as much of that gap as I could. So I also have been a busy bee lately because I have 3 skill points that I have not cashed in as of yet, but by the end of this video I will be cashing those in. So just giving you an update on that. And this is the car that I was able to get from the car auction. Unfortunately, I had to put a lot of money into just buying it, but I haven't touched on it since, but we'll get into that in today's video. So this is the Sakura Moon. It really is a nice blue color. So as far as like repairs and such, I mean, all of this like in question marks here are unknown, and sadly I only have like little information to go off of, but all in all it's in decent condition. It just needs some it just needs some love. It just needs a lot of love. Okay, so let me pop up the hood here. So let me zoom out here. Okay, so just like the cars that I have gotten in my previous videos and doing the restoration process, I would be only focusing on the mechanics. So everything from this engine block here, radiator, battery, tires, you know, everything that involves like the mechanics, brakes and such, suspensions, that's going to be stripped down, and then have brand new parts installed, make sure everything is nice and balanced, everything checks, you know, all the boxes, all that fun stuff. So I'll be focusing on that in today's video. Okay, I know I did a lot of talking there, but I hope I covered everything. So I think the time for talk is now over, so I'm going to just solely focus for now the process of just tearing all this out and then getting the parts needed and then put the new parts in. So just enjoy this little fast forward montage of this car mechanical restoration. Here we go. Okay, I believe we have everything fully finished. Let me just review the checklist here. Okay, yeah, we got all the mechanical parts swapped out, brand spanking new. Everything's green. So the only thing left to do now is put it out onto the test track to make sure everything runs smoothly, and we will do a couple of things before we wrap up here. Oh my goodness, that took a little longer than I intended, but if you want to do the job right, you gotta make sure it's done right. Oh, hold on. It likes to hug the side. I don't know why it does that. Okay. Alright, everything checks out. Pretty good, pretty solid. Oh my goodness. Okay. So the last thing that we got, I'm gonna cash in these skill points here. We're gonna do recycling. We're gonna do strong arms. And the last one I'm gonna do it on, let me see here. I'm gonna save that one for like the last couple of upgrades. I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna hold off on that one too. It's either gonna be this one or this one. Fuel. I'm gonna go with the fuel pressure test. Okay. So definitely the next part would be to definitely get the body panels and everything that's on the outside of this car swapped out with the brand new parts to be put in as well. So that will be for the next video. So check that out when it drops. So I will wrap up here for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and be checking out for the next part breakdown for this car, which would be the body panels and everything exterior and interior detail, and it will be almost finished. The last thing would just be to sand down everything and put a brand new color on. So we are almost there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.